All right. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to get into a variety of topics, but this first topic, we are going to talk about Tesla Model Y inventory. It is starting to go even lower and even lower and even lower. So price cuts may be working, even though some analysts think they are not. And of course, there was a price adjustment on a certain feature on that. So we'll talk about that plus a variety of different topics. But before we get into any of that, let's roll that intro real quick. All right, so thanks for watching another stream. Thanks for watching another video. My name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel and get access to the best Tesla buying guide out there that has links to all the best credit unions and rates, some of them even as low as 2.99 to 3.7%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description, the Patreon link. And shout out to my latest Patreon members. We've got Harrison. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Patreon group. But if you want to check it out, link down below in the description. But let us get into this. So Tesla Model Y, we know this. This is the best Tesla right now in terms of dollar for dollar, value for value. And if you go to order one, there was a good amount of inventory out there. We saw it go from 300, 400, 500 units down to where it is today. And in fact, if you look at the Tesla website, they have pushed the delivery date. No longer does it say April for a delivery. If you are to take delivery today, then you will be pushed to May. Of course, the most recent hype happened last Thursday because Tesla dropped the price of the Model Y $3,000 across the board, across all different trims. You got the Model Y all-wheel drive standard range at 279 miles. You got the Model Y long range at 330 miles, and the Model Y Performance at a full staggering 303 miles. But taking a look at inventory is starting to go down at a pretty rapid place. You can see right here today's inventory count was showing at 179 vehicles. There's a nice trending slope downwards. This of course is the inventory charts from mattjung.net. So shout out to Matt Jung for putting this together. And you can see that inventory is on a pretty steep decrease, but we know this. I mean, usually price decreases like this that's what's going to actually incentivize people to buy. And on top of that, because there is the 7,500 federal tax credit, it even makes it an even more better deal to buy. But we gotta zoom out and take a look at what could be happening here. So it is the end of April right now, and so usually by the end of every single month there is an increase in sales, increase in hype, and so potentially like people might be out there trying to buy a certain vehicle at certain dealerships. They kind of Google and see what's out there, and then they say, hey honey, let's go take a look at the Tesla as well. They go take a look, and of course, sure enough, Tesla's got inventory, and maybe that it could be happening with these inventory starting to go down near the end of the month. But we also know this: if you take a look at this inventory chart with all these different peaks and valleys, those peaks and valleys is because Tesla will release production, or they'll release inventory onto the websites, and Tesla Model Y inventory will start to increase and then go right back down. So taking a look at the Model Ys that are out there on the inventory, you can see there's 206 out there on the website. This, of course, is waiting for Tesla.com. It's an inventory aggregator site. Shout out to TJ and the team. You can see here that there are 206 Tesla Model Ys, and I always look at this because I like to sort it down to demo status to see if there's any sort of deals out there, any sort of really spectacular slick deals. And you can see right here on the screen, usually some of these are in like 300, 400, 500, even 600, but this one stuck out to me. 2023 Tesla Model Y long range. It only has 1,400 miles on it, but it's got a $1,280 discount. It's in South Salt Lake City, Utah, and this is a pretty good deal. If you are looking to buy a Tesla right now, then this is something I would be interested in snagging on because it's good color combo, good 5-seat combination, all that stuff. So if you're in the Utah area, the Salt Lake City, Utah area, this this might be the Tesla for you, because $1,000 discount, $2,000 discount, typically we like to see $2,000 to $3,000 discounts, but we're probably not going to see that until June. So if you need a vehicle right now, then I would say pick up one of these. But if you can wait, we've been saying this for a while, if you can wait till the end of the quarter, end of the second quarter, which will be June, then definitely try and push all the way until then. I mean, that's not further along from now. I mean, that's pretty close. That's only like another month and a half or so. So you can push all the way out to June, then June will definitely be a great time to purchase a Tesla if you can wait. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. And there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible financing rate, including credit unions and banks on that list that have interest rates at as low as 2.99 to 3.7%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. But in this latest news, Tesla, it seems like, has dropped the price of the 7-seat interior, which if you don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of history on this, on what happened here, because there's a little bit of backstory. I mean, we see sensational headlines like this where Tesla has reduced the price of the Model Y 7-seat option by $1,000 down to $3,000. But I'll give you the history on that in just a second. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel and get access to the best Tesla buying guide out there. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. But shout out to Sawyer Merritt. Tesla has reduced the 7-seat Tesla Model Y seating option by $1,000 down to $3,000. And of course, a couple other articles and things like that posted about. So here's one from Tesla North, and a good shout out to Tesla North for posting a picture of the third row seat. So anybody out there that is interested in a third row seat, definitely be aware. Maybe hopefully watch some videos on it or go to some dealerships or Tesla stores around you, because you can easily figure out which stores around you have like the 7-seat by going to Waiting for Tesla or even Tesla.com, because the 7-seat, even though it's a nice feature, it is not necessarily the biggest third row. It's definitely worth it for emergencies or maybe even very small children, because you can see like this area right here between where your feet are supposed to be, very, very tight. And then the headroom right here, because this is literally your trunk right here that opens and closes. So you definitely want to put people in there that are shorter, smaller, and just like smaller all around at the end of the day. But let me give you the backstory here. So this feature was $4,000 for a while, and also on top of that, you cannot get the Model Y third row seat on the all-wheel drive standard range. You can only get it on the long range. You cannot get it on the Model Y Performance as well. So really only the 7-seat configuration comes with the long range. I imagine maybe Tesla will introduce the third row option onto the Model Y all-wheel drive standard range at some point, but right now it is only on the Model Y long range. But here's the story. If you didn't know, it's, of course, now it's down to $3,000, and it was $4,000. Or actually, is it back up to $4,000 now? Because for a while it was down to $3,000. But the thing with that is it actually was $3,000 just a few months ago. And I don't know the exact date, but I want to say I tweeted about it at some point, maybe in it was right after the massive price cuts in January, where it went down from the Model Y went down from 66,000 down to 53,000. And then shortly after, I want to say sometime between February and March, Tesla increased the price of the third row, and then they decreased it today or the other day. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts. It's certainly it's recommended as an emergency third row, maybe even not to be used 100% of the time, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff that Tesla is finally playing around with different features out there, with different options to try and incentivize people. And I'm still kind of waiting to see, because full self-driving did raise and kept raising throughout these past few years, all the way up to the staggering $15,000 it is right now. So I'm wondering, will there be promotions on that in the near future? Maybe to incentivize people, maybe, and be to get people to purchase that, because there's a lot of profit margin in the Tesla full self-driving at the end of the day, even enhanced autopilot. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into the next topic, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, so definitely check it out if you're interested. Water break. Thanks for joining in, everyone. Myron, Shane, Jason, Deepak, thank you for joining. We're definitely going to get into the live stream comments because that's the benefit, right? You can come in, ask anything you want, and then we'll definitely get into it. But in this next topic, it seems like the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y have dominated cost to own competition, and won an award from Kelley Blue Book. And this makes sense, right? We've been promoting this for a while on how EVs and electric vehicles and Teslas just make a lot of sense when it comes to the cost to ownership side. But it's good to see that they've actually won awards. So we'll take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Not a Tesla App. Tesla Model 3 and Model Y dominate in KBB cost to own awards. It looks like Tesla has triumphed in Kelley Blue Book's 2023 5-year cost award. And so we looked this up pretty recently when we made the video, 4 or 5 reasons how people can afford a Tesla. We can actually pull that up. And the one thing that was really interesting to me is when I searched up a Honda Accord hybrid, it said that the 4 to 5 year cost, or the 5-year cost, was around $5,000. But when I searched up a Tesla Model 3, it actually said that the 5-year cost was also around $4 to $5,000. And actually, it didn't really make any sense to me at all, like in terms of what it actually was. Like, there's no way, because we've owned 4 Teslas so far, a Model 3, a Model Y, and a Model S, and a Model X, and it just didn't make sense to me why it could potentially be that Teslas have that much maintenance. I see tires, but so does every other car. But this is the video right here of the 4 ways people afford a Tesla, because that's in that video we actually compared the cost between the Model Y or Model 3 and a Honda Accord hybrid, and we did a 5-year analysis with insurance and everything, and it actually became really close when you factor in state incentives on the cost of a Honda hybrid versus a Model 3. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff in terms of like the cost of ownership, and it makes sense because electric vehicles and Teslas do not have that much maintenance, do not have oil changes, brake changes, fluid changes as much as other vehicles. And so let us take a look at this, because here's the actual Kelley Blue Book 5-year cost to award winners, and we can see here, let's take a look to see if the luxury electric car was given to the Model 3 and the Model Y. But I guess I want to see like how much did it actually cost to own in the 5 years, because they definitely won. But let's see if we can try and Control F and see here. So Tesla Model 3 2023 5-year cost to own $43,975 compared to the segment average is down $7,561. For a 2023 Tesla Model Y, 5-year cost to own was $48,651. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. That's not that bad when you compare it to some of these other segments out there. But if you want to jump into it, take a look at it, let me know what your thoughts on it. But at the end of the day, driving any electric vehicle, it doesn't even have to be a Tesla, is going to be less maintenance at the end of the day versus gas cars. No oil changes, yearly oil changes, fluid changes, transmission fluids, and also less brake changes. I think we've highlighted on the channel where there was a Model 3 that went almost 300,000 miles without changing brakes at all. I don't know if that's even safe, but they did it and they're still driving at the end of the day. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel. So definitely check it out if you're interested. All right, Myron, thanks for jumping in. Another price drop coming or not? I think so. Maybe June at this point. But Model Y, I think will actually have some sort of price increase, but only because of what we're seeing in the inventory charts. Tesla, they said on their last earnings call, they look at production, weekly global production, and if there's a lot of vehicles in inventory, if price in inventory goes up, your inventory counts, then prices will come down. But the one thing I want Tesla to get more creative in this next, few months. I mean, of course, that's easier said than done. I mean, I'm not on the Tesla team. But I'd love for them to get more creative with more incentives. And so we did ask the question out to the community, like, what incentive would you want Tesla to give you? An overwhelming 37% said they would love a subsidized rate, 2.99 to 3.99%. So my question to you is, like, if Tesla did a subsidized rate of 3.99, but they tied it to Tesla insurance or some sort of other feature, maybe they tie it to enhanced autopilot or full self-driving, would you go for it? Because that's actually a good, interesting thing. Like, because let's say they tied it to an enhanced autopilot, it's a $6,000 option, but they give you 3.99 under the guise that, because they're going to finance you under Tesla financing, they want you to be maybe a safer driver and they want to protect their investment. I mean, that'd be an interesting pivot or ploy to try and get you a low rate, but make you pay a little bit more. Or how about free supercharging? 23% said they would love that, but an overwhelming second majority said they would love more discounts, $2,000 to $3,000. That's what they want. They don't care about anything else, but they want more discounts. And so is another Model Y discount coming soon? I think we're going to go up a little bit before we go down even more, but Model 3, 100%, I think there's going to be discounts, and really only because look at the inventory on the Matt Jung's chart for Model 3. You can see we're at pretty high levels, that's for sure. And I think the Model 3 pricing, I think it should go down another 2,000 to 3,000, maybe even 4,000. Stack it with the tax credit. Of course, I'm talking Model 3 standard range, because the Model 3 standard range only has a 3,750 tax credit. So I could easily see it going down much, much more. Shane, welcome in. Toyota Hybrid CHR brand new 30K was looking today at Tesla's R2 Deer. Headlights, deer and headlights. If I place an order on Tesla right now, that doesn't lock in the price until it actually delivers, correct? No, Jason, if you place an order right now, you lock in the current price. You're protected against any sort of price increases, and you benefit with any sort of price decreases. So you are pretty much good. It's the best. And so I would say my kind of recommendation, maybe Tesla won't like me saying this, but place an order for Model Y. So you lock in that price, and then stall them till June, because June is going to be when they're going to roll out all the stops for people to try and take delivery. Before you buy a Tesla, ask them how if you buy the upgrades and be able to pass them on to the next buyer if you sell it, because you know exactly what's going on. Yeah, you don't get the full self-driving is not, or it is transferable, and enhanced autopilot is transferable, but not if you trade it into Tesla. If you buy a fully loaded Tesla and then go to sell it down the road, you have to sell it to a base model. The upgrades you pay for are not transferable. Actually, no, all the upgrades are actually transferable. Sticks with the car. So if you buy full self-driving and you trade into a dealer or sell it to a private seller, full self-driving stays on the car. If you trade it into Tesla has been known to remove full self-driving, and so that's probably what you're talking about there, which that's the case there. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into our next topic. So in this next topic, it seems like Ford, the CEO of Ford, has warned Tesla or warned Elon Musk maybe, that they got to keep the product fresh. They've got to keep it fresh, because price cuts will soon no longer have an effect after a certain while, which makes sense. And I'll give you my thoughts on it and what I actually think, because it kind of makes sense. And, at some point there has to be a bottom of price, but we'll get into it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description. If you want to support the channel and get access to the best Tesla buying guide out there that has links to all the best interest rates, some of them as low as 2.99 to 3.7% for financing your Tesla. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. And so let us get into this. Shout out to Electric Ford CEO warns Tesla about product freshness, believes their EVs are becoming commodities. So definitely a spicy headline, maybe even shots fired from Jim Farley, the CEO. So Jim Farley is warning about Tesla's product freshness, as he believes Tesla electric cars are at risk of becoming commodities. So it's funny I'm bringing up this topic because I know Shane is going to be all over this one because he loves taking shots at Tesla. But last summer, Farley accurately predicted that a price war in the EV market, which is basically what's happening now, and then they cut the prices of the Ford Mach-E. But of course, it didn't end there, and Tesla kept slashing prices through this year and throughout last year as well. And now the Tesla Model Y is $20,000 down from its high. And so here's what Jim Farley actually said. I think he's going to learn is that product freshness means a lot. The product gets commoditized and then you lose your pricing premium. That's a very dangerous thing. And so, he completely has a point, and that's why there is a Model 3 refresh that could be on the next horizon, and same with Model Y. Project Juniper is the name of the Model Y refresh, and Project Highline is the name of the Model 3 refresh. But the one thing that's a little bit different that I would give credit to Tesla, because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm pretty basic. I love driving Teslas. I've owned 4 of them, but I'm also pretty harsh with Tesla. I tell everyone all Teslas have build quality issues, all Teslas have paint quality issues, and so I try and make sure it's a very balanced expectation when you're buying a Tesla. But the one thing I will give to Tesla is that they keep it fresh in a sense with their technology. They're always enhancing the UI. They're always enhancing things that the vehicle can do with every single sort of updates. And really not a lot of other manufacturers out there do that. They try and do it with hardware, LED lights, special other stuff with things like that, like lights inside the vehicle and car and styling. But Tesla is really the only one that keeps it fresh, because they understand that even though you drive your car all the time, most of the time you're sitting inside the car and you're interacting with the UI, entertainment system, and things like that. And so with Tesla, they update it frequently. They add cool features, like now you can fart all over the place if you really want to. Of course, that's not the coolest feature, but on top of that, it makes it very, very intuitive with a bunch of different features within their Tesla. So I will give it to that to Tesla. Tesla is always adding, enhancing what the vehicle can do on the interior side. And so that's where they kind of pull ahead with keeping the product fresh. But certainly understand, the Model 3 is almost 5-6 years old now. Model Y getting there as well. Model S and X are very, very old, and essentially they look exactly the same with slight updates here and there versus the old one. But the biggest thing, of course, is updating the UI and the screen, because at the end of the day, that's where most of us, when we're driving our vehicles, that's what we're interacting the most with in terms of messing around with settings and entertainment, radio, Spotify, and things like that. So that's really makes sense at the end of the day. But let me know what your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Do you think Tesla is going to run into a product freshness problem? But one thing is for sure, there is going to be a lot of Teslas on the road very, very soon, because a lot of people are taking advantage of this Tesla Model Y pricing, because $3,000 discounts across the board, that makes it a very slick deal. And then of course, when you factor with the $7,500 federal tax rate that most people that make anywhere from $70,000 to $150,000 are going to qualify for with W-2 income, and that is why Tesla inventory is starting to crash and inventory is starting to sell at the end of the day. But let me know what your thoughts are. At a certain point, there is definitely going to be a bottom with pricing, and Tesla can't keep dropping the price over and over. They've got to spice it up with different incentives, different offers, whether it's subsidized rates, interest rates, whether it's free supercharging, or this, that, and other, because they've done it in the past, and they will certainly do it in the near future. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you thinking. We're going to jump into the next topic, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, there's a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me, where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price and financing. So So definitely check it out because some of those banks' interest rates are as low as 2.99 to 3.7%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. And as an added benefit, I do respond to all DMs or direct messages in the Patreon app. So if you want to ask me a question at a certain level of the Patreon membership, you can definitely do that. And I'm pretty rapid on that as well. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. But thanks for jumping in, everyone. Big changes today. Tesla Model Y is crashing. They've raised dropped the price of the third row seat. And so that's probably what's affecting some of this demand as well. And on top of that, there's just a lot less Tesla Model Y inventory across the board. But my advice is still the same. Place an order in, lock in the low pricing, because when inventory goes down, that is when prices will go up. So when this happened in the past before, Tesla did a $500 price increase. So we could easily see that in the near future. But if you have just bought a Tesla, if you have a Tesla on order, thank you for joining in. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hitting the like button. But check out some of our Tesla part accessory discount codes down below in the description as well. If you want an extra added discount, a lot of you have been using the 3D Mats USA, so thank you for that. It's a more premium interior Tesla floor mat that you can use. All the links down below in the description, and you can see we've got Tamai, Jawa, Tesla, MAGBAK as well. But if you want to check that out. But let's see what else we got here. How do you stall delivery? Many ways. But just say you can't take delivery. But be careful. They might give you ultimatums and try and cancel you, but you just, you get more bees with honey at the end of the day. Do you know current wait times? Yeah, it looks like Tesla has pushed their wait time up to May and June. So it also, at the end of the day, it depends on where you're located in the United States as well. That will affect your wait time. Thanks for the reply. No, thank you, Shane. I know you come in every once in a while, so thanks for coming in. The streets will be full of Ys everywhere soon. Robert, you are 100% correct. There's going to be Teslas all over the place. And actually, this next topic, if you're out there in different states, it's a little bit of a PSA, because as more Teslas get onto the road, there is something you need to be aware about. That is going to increase the cost for all of us. Teslas do need to tackle the issue of right to repair with Apple with phones. If something goes wrong with the battery pack, you have to go to Tesla, otherwise your warranty is void. Shane, I completely agree with that. I forget the YouTuber out there that he messes with all the Teslas as on his own. He's a really funny guy. I watch his videos from time to time as well. But 100%. Like, there needs to be more shops out there that can fix Tesla. There needs to be more pros out there, and that's coming soon, right? As more Teslas get on the road, then more people will be more versed into it. But also, really, the only thing that goes wrong is like battery tech, right? And so, if you buy a Tesla, it's still under warranty, and I mean, there's lemon laws and things like that. So that's why I never really recommend buying an older Tesla that's out of warranty. Because, even though it sounds like a good deal, even though it sounds like you might be getting good value, there is, with battery technology, there's people getting scammed and unfortunately buying Model S's and X's that are not functioning after they buy it, because kind of like check engine lights, you just hit the reset button, it goes off for a little bit, and then it comes back on you and bites you in the behind. I'm shocked the Model 3 didn't price drop last night. I think we'll have to wait until next Thursday for a price drop. I think so, yeah, maybe. I mean, that's interesting. You're right, because usually they do price drops on Thursday, and maybe they didn't want to mess with month-end sales. Well, maybe it'll be tonight. Who knows at the end of the day? Who knows at the end of the day? But I certainly predict there is going to be a Model 3 price drop in the near future. But in this next topic, it seems like this is a little bit of a PSA, because as more Teslas get onto the road, there will be more things like this, which will increase fees for all of us that are driving Teslas and electric vehicles. So it doesn't matter what state you're in, but if you're in Texas, this just got released. I'll also show you what the fee is for California, and we'll talk about why this is happening. But Texas just passed a bill that is going to add on an annual fee for Tesla vehicles and electric vehicles. So we'll talk about it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description, where you can get access to the best Tesla buying guide out there that has interest rates as low as 2.99 to 3.7%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. All right, so let us take a look at this, and we'll talk about why this is happening. So Tesla North, shout out to Tesla North for posting it. Texas House passes bill for $200 annual fee on electric vehicles. So of course, this is a bill to add on a fee plus probably on your annual registration fee of whatever it is, your yearly fee. I mean, all these states kind of do it in a certain different way. Some states have property tax. California has a registration tax. And I'll show you an example bill because we're in California, and I know a lot of you also are out here as well, to kind of give you the expectation of what you might be looking to pay in the near future. But the Texas House has passed a bill proposing a $200 annual fee for electric vehicles owners. The bill is going to be sent to Governor Greg Abbott. And basically what this is and why this is happening is because electric vehicles don't fill up gas. And of course, when other vehicles go fill up gas, those other vehicles pay a gas tax. And that gas tax helps pay for roads and maybe reconditioning of roads, maintenance of roads, on all that different stuff. And so electric vehicles, because we don't have that, because we don't pay gas tax, and hopefully they don't put a electric charging tax. Electric vehicles usually charge at home and things like that. And so that is why the governments, the local governments and state governments are doing things like that, all over the place, because they need to recoup some of that back to pay for roads and things like that. And so that is why this is happening in Texas. And if you didn't know, most of you out there I know are in California as well, or maybe even other states. I'm pretty sure New York and New Jersey have already done something like this, or even past it. I just don't know exactly what the top of it is, but California already has had this in place for a while. So here's a picture of a California registration for, I think this was a model. Don't even know what model is. You can see right here that the yearly registration fee for a Tesla, I want to say this is probably a Tesla Model Y, was $711. But before you get all crazy about this, the annual fee in California is actually based upon the value of the vehicle. And really any sort of vehicle in this caliber would have been like a $500 fee already. But there's like an added $100, $150 gas tax, or basically annual fee registration fee added to California one. So this would have been like $500, $600, but now it is $711. So just be aware out there, this might happen to you. Maybe some states haven't done this yet, but Colorado, it seems like in the first comment, said it was $1,000 in their state. And so this is just something to be aware about. So, yes, buying an electric vehicle, buying a Tesla does save you money across the board, but there are certain places, insurance notably on a monthly basis will go up, and also registration, depending on what state you're in, will also go up. So, if you are buying a Tesla, I want you to be prepared out there before any sort of surprise cost. You could probably simply go to Google and type in your state electric vehicle or Tesla registration costs and see if there's any sort of elevated fee for electric vehicles to help pay for the roads at the end of the day. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into the live stream comments. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link where you support the channel. So definitely check it out if you're interested. Hopefully that helps. Definitely, yeah, it's crazy that there is an annual fee. Thank you. What's up? I don't even know what to call you. I'll call you Shutta. There we go. Shutta, welcome. Hope you're enjoying your Tesla Model Y. $200 annual fee. Yes, definitely. It sucks. Reg, hey Reg, notice my 2023 Model 3 rear-wheel drive standard range is not accurate miles, getting 271 full charge, only not as per the range. Is that a common issue? Yeah, it's tough. Like, it's hard to really match up, and depending on speeds you go and things like that, that's where it will mess with the range and things like that. I think there's like an energy screen within the Tesla where you can see all the different effects of driving fast, elevation, AC, that it could affect your range. Did you know that Elon sold a shed load of shares right before the earnings, and his chief officer did? You can see the transactions. You can go to transaction from major insider holders on Yahoo Finance. Yeah, it seems like Elon's selling all the time, so it's not even a surprise at this point. I mean, Tesla I'm a Tesla investor, but certainly I'm a long-term Tesla investor. I stopped looking day to day because really no point at the end of the day. But I certainly understand there's a lot of people out there, probably with retail traders that are trying to time it every single day or every single month. So I understand that it can certainly get a little gnarly for some of other people out there. But I'm long-term Tesla. I believe in some of the product and the vision. So I'm sold. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid at the end of the day. Water break. Hope everyone is doing well. But so another quick thought, another quick thing here. I don't know if you saw some of this, but this popped out to me a lot. So we've seen like crab walk and crab driving and things like that. Of course, notably the Hummer that can go like diagonal. But this is pretty sick from Hyundai. It seems like they've really decided to go all out with their rims. They're calling it like the cornering crab driving zero turn diagonal feature. And you can see like just driving down the streets, you have a lot of different functionality with the rims, because it seems like the rims can go almost a full 90 degrees. And so this could be super useful. But this is the future, I guess. We're going to do crazy stuff like this. Like not the days of just trying to avoid hitting people in a parking lot are going to be brought to a next level. But I would love stuff like this. This is like Tokyo Drift, but not, because you're just like rotating the tires and then just driving them. But definitely some crazy stuff that is coming out of from the technology that's coming from other manufacturers. And this is good because Legacy Automotive, other big huge companies out there are starting to invest in just crazy features and things like that. This is pretty sick. Like diagonal lane change like that. But the one thing that stuck out to me the most was this. So you see like when you drive up to a parallel parking spot, I know probably a lot of you out there, myself included, have trouble parallel parking sometimes, and just being able to turn the rims 90 degrees like that and just slide right into your spot, and with precise accuracy like that. And just think about how much time this is going to save. Maybe like a parallel park takes 10 to 20 seconds. Now it's going to take you 5 seconds at the end of the day. But this is pretty sick with the technology, because when you have an all-wheel drive electric vehicle, power can go to all 4 wheels and just move into any sort of direction if you give it the angle capabilities like this. But pretty cool stuff. U-turns are going to be on a different level as well, and a bunch of other stuff. But let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the description. But very, very cool feature from Hyundai. But if you're just joining in, welcome. Tesla inventory, Tesla Model Y inventory is definitely on the crash mode. People are buying them, people are reserving them. And I wonder if this is because the Tesla Model Y third row just got a price decrease, or is it because end of the month rush? It's the end of April. People are trying to take delivery ASAP, or maybe it's because of other manufacturers, like people looking to buy other vehicles. They go to the other dealership and then they decide, I don't know if I want that Jeep Wrangler 4xe anymore. I'm going to go get a Model Y. And funny thing with that, we did drive a 4xe, Jeep Wrangler 4xe this past week. And, I was pleasantly surprised. Like it definitely has an actual SUV feel, but it was a dead battery and had no charge. We rented it, and we got like 17 miles per gallon. So it definitely wasn't good in that aspect, but very funny. I'm not a Tesla investor. I'm into hydrogen rollout. Shane. Interesting. So Shane, we've owned a Toyota Mirai, which is the hydrogen vehicle in California. And I'll tell you, the infrastructure is not there. It's one thing to, get people to jump into an electric car. It's another thing to get them to go into hydrogen. There's a couple hydrogen vehicles out there. They, may or may not be having a tough time selling them, but we had the Toyota Mirai. I thought it was a great deal. We bought it certified pre-owned. It was like only $14,000. It came with a $15,000 hydrogen fuel card. So basically free hydrogen fuel. Drove it for 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and then sold it for $4,000. So definitely a nice loss on there. Good experience. We got to try it. We could say we drove a Mirai and put it under our book and catalog. But, definitely it was tough because hydrogen stations all around LA and California were always out for some reason. And then whenever they came online, you can imagine getting there and there was a line of 3, 4, 5 vehicles of hydrogen cars waiting to fill up. And the thing with that, hydrogen is not as fast. It's not as fast of a fill up as gas. It takes at least 10 minutes because those pumps are just super finicky. But, I certainly agree. Like, I'm not a scientist, I'm not an engineer, but, these gas stations all over the place, I do, I'm not 100% into hydrogen, but I am a semi believer because, I'm thinking like there's got to be a way, like when all these gas stations go away, they're not just going to go away. They're going to switch to hydrogen. That's what I would imagine. Like, does it run through the same pipes and things like that? But who knows? Definitely interesting stuff. But let me know your thoughts on that, Shane. Kirkland sold 700K on the 4th of April and Elon 20 million on the 5 weeks, 2 weeks before earnings. Yeah, because maybe they knew that they're going to drop the price, which would hurt sales. Can we get 2 EV credits if my husband and I buy 2 Model Ys in 2023, assuming we pay more than 15K tax in 2023 and also meet the income limit? Janet? Basically, yes. But consult a CPA because you can double up even on one person. It's been done in the past, but still consult a CPA at the end of the day to see if they can structure correctly. That's very doable. Yes. Anyone ordered Tesla Model Y long range in January and still waiting for delivery? Harsha, what location are you at? That's definitely a long time beforehand. And anybody out there that has just bought a Tesla or at least has one on order, definitely check out our Tesla part accessory partners down below in the description. Discounts on Tamai, Jawa, Tesla, MAGBAK, and 3D Mats USA. And thank you all for using our links on the channel. But yeah, Harsha, that's very, very far out. That's very interesting that you're still waiting. Definitely check some of the EDD hacks on the channel to see if you can try and bump up your order. And EDD stands for Estimated Delivery Date Bump Up. Paul, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining in. We're actually about to be done here, but thank you for always coming in, Paul, and saying good evening. Good evening to you, and hopefully you are having a swell day. But thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for all the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.